down for it to be on. Good afternoon. I am Gib Metcalf, Chair of the First Parish in Concord Governing Board, and my pronouns are he, him, and I am delighted and honored to welcome you to the installation service for our lead minister, the Reverend Jennifer Beth Johnson. Welcome to all joining us in the sanctuary and on Zoom. An installation service formally ratifies the covenantal relationship between a called minister and her congregation, and it is an opportunity to celebrate our agreement to enter into a covenant of shared ministry. First, some housekeeping. If you need assistance during the service for any reason, please see one of our ushers at the rear of the sanctuary. They can provide assisted listening devices for anyone wishing to use one. Restrooms are located on the first floor, accessible by the stairwell or elevator, both out the exit to my right, and you can also go downstairs in the rear of the church on the right. The parlor downstairs serves as a wiggle room where restless ones can move about while watching the service live streamed on a large screen. Children should accompany any restless parents if going to the wiggle room. All present in the meeting house are invited to gather after the ceremony for a reception in the parish hall downstairs where we can celebrate this joyous occasion. And now, please rise as you are able as we sing our opening hymn and welcome the procession of clergy, dignitaries, and choir.
We light this flame today and look towards its persistent brightness, its flickering warmth, and we are reminded of the burning flame that is the heart of our church. As we take the time to celebrate this communion of people in shared ministry and to create a covenant together, we cultivate this flame, kindling the spirit of community in the life-giving love which will carry us forth.
I bring you greetings from your sister church in Lexington, where 350 years ago we joined together to start a revolution. In a spirit of courage and community, we gather in this sacred space on this important day, honoring your new ministry. Thank you, Paul. We're in it together, aren't we? As we begin, would you take a moment to settle into your seats in these ancient creaking pews? Feel your back secure against the wood. Trust the seat to hold you safely. Allow your feet to rest on the floor. Sense the earth beneath these floorboards. Let us take a deep breath together. And take another breath as we connect to the energy of the earth. Source of life and ground of our being, hold us safely as we enter into this sacred moment. Fill us with the spirit of this place, flowing upwards through our bodies. Connect us to the courage which our ancestors held. Inspire us with the possibilities that lie within, that we might find a place of ever-renewing strength to meet the challenges of this time. Let us always remember that heaven is under our feet as well as over our heads.
Good afternoon, beloveds. I'm the Reverend Dr. Sofia Betancourt. It is my privilege, my true privilege, to serve as president of your Unitarian Universalist Association. And on this sacred day, it is my joy to bring you greetings from over 1,000 Unitarian Universalist congregations that make up the Unitarian Universalist Association. This is a day when we lean into powerful shared ministry that I'm hearing from all of you is already a joy, is already a celebration, is already a success. May that energy continue. And as we lean into the promise and the power of shared ministry today, I want to bring my thanks and my gratitude for the way that you partner with the UUA itself. I want to bring my gratitude for your generosity that requires real work and commitment and time. Thank you for that partnering. Thank you for the ways that you hold and lift our shared values, the ones that we hold in common cause, not only in this beautiful, historic sanctuary, but out in the world where those values are needed maybe more than ever before. We cannot do what we do without all of you, just as you cannot do what you do without your minister, without your staff, without your leaders, without the history that you build upon. May we today celebrate the joy and sacrality of all of that powerful foundation that leads into the ministry for years to come. Congratulations, beloveds, on this sacred day.
Let us pray. This room is full of hope right now. O Spirit of whatever name we bring to this moment. This historic room is full of hope and the memory of our ancestors here. Hope which has filled this room over and over through the generations, through the centuries. A great cloud of witnesses. Crowds in here with us as we mark the beginning of a new chapter. New leadership, new dreams, new plans. Creating a space where miracles can happen. Where we now and those to come can find our footing. This is an installation day, marking a precise moment in time when we as a community say yes to life. This place where we come to find courage for these days, where we mark the spot here on the village green in Concord, Massachusetts, and say we are ready to move forward, move into the future. Drawing on our history of our Puritan forebears and our Transcendentalist forebears, we stand witness this day and pray for Jennifer and her family. Pray for the visionary leaders here. Pray that dreams might be fulfilled. This is an installation day, and we cry out for courage for these days. May we move forward together. May our light shine. May dreams come true. Amen.
Let's take a moment to recognize our place in time. This congregation first gathered in 1636. Looking back over those 389 years, 21 people have served as senior minister of this congregation. It is a significant moment in our history that the Reverend Jennifer Johnson is being installed today. Her name will be added to the roll of ministers who have served as leaders of this historic congregation. And I celebrate that you have called a woman to be in the senior ministry for the first time in our long history. Even as we celebrate this momentous occasion, it is also important to note that Jennifer is not the first woman to have served at First Parish in Concord. May I please have the first slide, Arkady? From the very beginning, women have been a part of the fabric of this community. This painting by Elizabeth Wentworth Roberts is titled "Sewing for the Refugees." And this beautiful artwork hangs in our parlor. Today, there is a great cloud of witnesses who have offered their gifts of love and service, not only for the well-being of First Parish, but far beyond our walls. May I please have the next slide? There are so many people who, despite the social barriers of the time, were pioneers on the path of equality and justice. And I would like to lift up just two connected to First Parish in Concord, who were not ordained, but whose leadership helped to pave the way to this moment. The black and white drawing is Mary Merrick Brooks, for whom our Brooks Room is named. As our Welcoming Walls task force so beautifully wrote, Brooks championed political reform efforts and through various strategies convinced many of Concord's most visible and even reluctant citizens to speak out against slavery. She was an officer in anti-slavery societies and a station master on the Underground Railroad. Brooks worked tirelessly for racial justice, both locally and nationally. Now, the other painting is of Ellen Tucker Emerson, for whom our Emerson Room is named. She was the eldest daughter of Ralph Waldo Emerson, and in 1875, she was the first woman elected to public office in Concord. In fact, she worked with Louisa May Alcott both to found our Women's Parish Association and in winning the vote for women at town meeting. For 40 years, I love this part, she taught Sunday school here at First Parish, a legacy worth keeping alive. And as a part of this installation service, I would like to lift up the Reverend Alice B. Lane, who was our first ordained woman to serve here, and also the Reverend Jenny Rankin, and many other women ministers who served as associate, assistant, affiliate, intern, interim, religious education, or pastoral care ministers. On this day, when we celebrate the installation of a new lead minister, we do so in gratitude, not only for those called reverend, but also in honor of our shared ministry that has kept this institution vital over so many years. I'm grateful for the many gifts that Jennifer brings to her ministry. Although along with her title comes many responsibilities, together we know our future as a Unitarian Universalist congregation in these times depends on our shared ministry. May each one of us bring our gifts into this place, hallowed by so many who have gone before, mindful of the generations to follow, together made whole. Blessed be.
button on the side, Shauna. That's the welcome to Concord that I needed. It's not the most auspicious of times in our world, is it? It's stating the obvious to note that we live in a time of increasing isolation and polarization. This has made it a ripe time for all of the destruction that is being wrought in our institutions. It seems to me we could trace a lot of this back 5 years ago because we all pulled back out of necessity during COVID. We began to wonder about our future. We trusted less and less, and increasingly looked out for what was best for us personally. What will keep me afloat? What matters to me? And that's led, quite literally, to a world of hurt. In that context, what is a Unitarian Universalist community to do? Especially one that's been around, as we just heard, for 389 years and seen tons of ups and downs, revolutions and periods of calm and curiosity. How do you write the next chapter in this time? What is a Unitarian Universalist parish for in 2025? Why are you here now? It has been meaningful for me for the past several years to serve as Jennifer's mentor. I have been a sounding board and a listening ear, and hopefully sometimes at least marginally helpful. And being her mentor has had me reflecting on the role of teachers and mentors in my ministerial life. With so much uncertain and challenging about this time, it has been helpful to me to look back again at wisdom from teachers and ancestors that have been a ballast for me, a way to find the precedented amidst the unprecedented, steadying me amidst all the wobbliness. Surely those before us faced similar, if not identical, struggles. They survived and occasionally even found ways to thrive, so surely, so can we. Thinking about teachers and mentors led me to this poem, Ode to Teachers by Pat Mora. I remember the first day how I looked down, hoping you wouldn't see me. And when I glanced up, I saw your smile, shining like a soft light from deep inside you. I'm listening, you encourage us. Come on, join our conversation. Let us hear your neon certainties, thorny doubts, tangled angers. But for weeks, I hid inside. I read and reread your notes, praising my writing, and you whispered, "We need you," and your stories and questions. That, like a fresh path, will take us to new vistas. Slowly, your faith grew into my courage. And for you, instead of handing you a note or apple or flowers, I raised my hand. I carry your smile and faith inside like I carry my dog's face, my sister's laugh, creamy melodies, the softness of sunrise, steady blessings of stars, autumn smell of gingerbread, the security of a sweater on a chilly day. One of my dearest mentors in ministry, the late Reverend Yobanzi Charles Johnson, gave the charge to me at my ordination. He said something that rings in my ears and my heart to this day, and which many who witnessed that ritual referred to when speaking to me about it for years, and I do mean years afterward. He said, and I quote, "Anything worth doing in life is worth doing badly." He followed that up with that meaningful statement up by saying that we had become, as a culture, he was feared, so enamored of success and our vision of it and the appearance of it, that we wouldn't even attempt things that we didn't feel ahead of time, before we even started, that we'd be assured of success on the other side. I bring this up now because I think it is advice we'd do well to heed, with perhaps a bit of a twist on what Yobanzi meant. Ever since I arrived at seminary in the mid-1990s, we've been warned that the church as we know it is dying. People don't go to church anymore, and our budgets are in deficit. The sky is falling. You are boarding a sinking ship, we were told. Very uplifting for us seminarians. Now we feel that even more keenly as we see endowments shrink and treasurers warn us that we have only X number of years left. We are told again and again the opposite of sustainable. And in this moment, we might be tempted to play it safe, to do only what we've always done, or to cut way, way back. But anything worth doing in life is worth doing badly. And spiritual community, my friends, is worth it. So worth it. Finding a way to build and maintain community, and to do so in a way that is humane and compassionate, dare I say it, even loving, is as important as it has ever been. And sadly, when I speak to so many of our colleagues, what I hear too often, are stories of infighting. And I wonder, if we can't find ways to get along within our own communities, how on earth are we going to invite more people to join us? Or model a spiritually grounded path forward? This will take courage, to lean into the unknown and the not yet, and it will take faith in one another, like that teacher in the poem, in what can be built and only built together. So can you do that here in Concord? Can you trust each other? Can you believe that you have called the right person at the right time? Can you work with her and not against her? Can you save the resistance and the obstinates for, that lousy stuff that's going on in the larger world? Can you move through your unwillingness to change and try new things and do it anyway? I believe you can. You could. I hope you can, and you will. It seems simple to say that we need to trust one another. You're hearing my message and saying, well, duh. It's simple in theory, but it has proved to be very hard to achieve. And it's what we need now to show that we can still rely on one another in a world telling us not to. We need to show and to think that togetherness still matters, that connection is still possible. So I hope you can build on what feels powerfully alive here. I've felt it just in the 24 hours or so I've been here. So I hope you can lean in and believe that community is salvific, that you have all that you need here with these people to make your way through all of the challenges ahead. because you are not alone. You have one another in trying to make this corner of the world more hospitable and kind. I suppose if Yobanzi were here, he might say something like, "We have been doing community badly, or at least inadequately, for a long time now. We human beings seem to have a very hard time creating lasting and meaningful community. In our own personal lives, it can be hard enough, but even more so collectively. It's felt downright impossible lately. We have been willing to give up so little. We demand, we lash out, and we're so slow to forgive. We don't do enough to try and do better or be better the next time. And my friends, there is always a next time. So my wish for this ministry is that you will find ways to bring your most open-hearted and tender and kind selves here. That when you feel armored up or ready to pick a fight, I hope you'll take a deep breath and see how someone next to you is feeling and being fed by the aspect of the service that is just middling for you. And then hold your tongue and smile until the moment that brings tears to your eyes comes along. In other words, have faith. Stick with it. Find every silver lining you can and be generous of spirit. Resist the urge to nitpick. Find ways to build up instead of tear down. Because criticism is easy. Love is hard. I'm going to say that again. Criticism is easy. Love is hard. May this ministry be blessed. May you find ways to move through every challenge and dilemma you face together with grace and understanding. May you find this chapter rich and beautiful and awash in possibilities. Blessed be, and amen.
Good afternoon. When I graduated from Andover Newton in 1997, I had about $60,000 worth of debt. It was more money than I had ever owed anybody in my entire life. And I was excited to take a position in my first large congregation because I thought, I'll be able to pay this off. My first salary back then was $36,000 a year. When I received the first bill for my loan payment, it was $500 a month. I thought for sure there was no way three of us, my wife, my son, and I, were going to survive. $500 a month was a very large chunk of a very small check. So I wrote to the UUA to ask for help. We were barely scraping by, and I really did not want to default on my student loans in the first year. I was encouraged to write for a grant from the Living Tradition Fund for relief with my student loans. And I did, and a few months later, I received a check for $1,000. Now, it may not seem like a lot now, but at the time, it meant everything. Knowing that we had just a couple of months' worth of break was just outstanding. The current graduate from seminary arrives with an average debt of $79,000. And the money raised at ordinations and installations like this one help provide funds for ministers in fellowship, their spouses, retirees, family members, and other religious professionals. It helps with more than just student debt. Healthcare needs, housing, emergency funds are all part of the Living Tradition Fund support. This fund changes lives, and it saves lives. And I know this because it helped save mine. I've had healthcare support, I've had moving support, and I've had support for my student debt. And I know I've heard from hundreds of colleagues who have also been supported by this fund. This is mutual aid at its best, when we care for each other together. And if you'll indulge me for just another sentence or two, Ralph Merrow used to get up and say, if you're planning to give $50, consider giving $100. If you're planning to give $10, consider giving $20. You get it? So whatever you are going to give, I encourage you to consider doubling that amount. It will make a difference in someone's life. Please be as generous as you can as we celebrate the ministry and the care of this great movement. Thank you all so much for your generous gifts today.
In our free church tradition, it is the right and responsibility of the congregation to call its own minister. For 389 years, members of First Parish in Concord have been upholding this tradition. Today, it is our turn. Particularly at this moment in our country's history, we do not take this right lightly. Just over a year ago today, in this sanctuary, the members of First Parish in Concord voted overwhelmingly to call the Reverend Jennifer Beth Johnson as our next settled minister. Today, we affirm and celebrate that call, Reverend Jennifer's free acceptance of it, and the democratic process that culminated in it. I now invite the members of First Parish in Concord to rise in body or spirit for the act of installation. Are you ready to install the Reverend Jennifer Beth Johnson as our settled lead minister? By the act of installation, the congregation and its called minister enter into a covenant, mutually pledging to love and to serve, to learn and to grow together in shared ministry. Reverend Jennifer, we have called you to dwell among us, to freely preach the truth as you understand it with conviction and vulnerability, to pastor to us in times of hardship and joy with compassion and enthusiasm, to teach the values of our Unitarian Universalist faith in word and deed, and to guide us on our journey towards the beloved community with hope and courage. Jennifer, do you accept these responsibilities and enter into a covenant of shared ministry with the members of First Parish in Concord?
I enthusiastically do.
Members of First Parish in Concord, the covenant of shared ministry is ours to uphold in partnership with our lead minister, all of the staff who faithfully serve the congregation and one another. Do you affirm this covenant and commit to sharing in the labor and love of the congregation's ministries? We do. Having made these commitments to one another, we as members will now join, and I hope you have one of these, in reciting the words of installation. We, the members of the First Parish in Concord, accepting our responsibility and affirming your spiritual leadership, do hereby install you, Jennifer Beth Johnson, as our settled lead minister. May we grow together in love and courage.
With reverence, gratitude, wonder, how did I get here? And joy, I take up the mantle of ministry which you have entrusted to me. I pledge to show up faithfully, to love and to serve this passionate community of dreamers and doers with all the humility, integrity, and courage in my power. May our shared ministry be a balm of healing and a beacon of inspiration within and beyond our walls. Together, may we journey ever closer to the beloved community our hearts know is possible.
Will all who have gathered, family, friends, and colleagues, please rise to witness and celebrate the installation of Reverend Jennifer Johnson as the settled lead minister of First Parish in Concord by joining me in affirmation and blessing. We affirm and celebrate the ministry you embark on together. May all the days of your shared ministry be blessed with wisdom, patience, affection, and goodwill. May your ministry together bless our beautiful and growing world with love, healing, and justice.
on the occasion of your installation, is it on? Yeah. Occasion as lead minister of First Parish in Concord, Massachusetts. Reverend Jennifer, today we mark the beginning of a sacred covenant between you and this beloved congregation. They have called you as their lead minister, and you have said yes, enthusiastic yes, as I heard you say. So this call, not lightly, not casually, but as someone who understands the gravity, the beauty, and the possibility that comes with this role. You arrive here already bearing gifts that will serve this community well. And today I want to name just two of them in particular, because they are treasures that will that will serve you well in this shared ministry. So they deserve to be named out loud, honored, and cared for. First, you have a gift with words. Not merely as a poet, though your poetic heart beats through everything you write and say. Not merely as a preacher, though your sermons hold truth, invitation, and love in every line. No, it's deeper than that. You have a gift for weaving words into vessels that carry meaning directly into the hearts of those listening. Your words are not for show, they are for offering. You pour them as generously, carefully to this community. And I imagine the people here feel that. They will feel the care in your crafting, the truth in your metaphors, the beauty in your pauses. But gifts, even the most generous, require tending. So I charge you to nurture your words well. Protect that creative space in you like the precious spring that it is. Rest when your words feel tired. Step away when your spirit needs refilling, because your words will carry this community through joy, through grief, through all the seasons of their life together. And they need you to tend to them and yourself as well. Second, you have an extraordinary capacity for presence. Reverend Jennifer, you have that rare and holy ability to sit with people in their lowest moments, to hold their sorrow and their heartbreak without flinching, without rushing to fix or explain it away. You sit fully present, heart open, unafraid of the depth. This is not something you learn in a textbook. This is how you're made. And those who find themselves in your care will feel seen, truly seen and cared for in a way that changes them. This too requires intention and tenderness, and I charge you to stay connected to that part of yourself that makes this possible. Pay attention to what grounds you, to what holds you when you hold others. Trust your instincts about when you need to step back and restore your spirit. You enter this ministry well prepared, and you enter it for the long haul. That means you must care for yourself as much as your love and devotion, as much of that as you do for the people you serve. And it's very obvious that you are already falling in love with this community. Our colleague, Carol Cecil, once gave this image to me that I hold close to my heart. She reminds us ministers that caring for our spiritual selves, it's like if you can envision a cup that sits in a saucer. What's in the cup is yours, and that needs to always remain filled to the point of overflowing. And then the overflow is what you serve from, because if you continue to serve from that cup, you will be empty and there will be nothing to give. And so I charge you, Reverend Jennifer, schedule time away, protect the Sabbath spaces, fill your cup. And let me add this, you have your most dedicated cheerleaders right by your side. Your beloved Dave, who knows your heart like no one else. Amelia and Carly, your brilliant and beautiful daughters, who remind you of who you are beyond this pulpit. And let's not forget Cooper, who will no doubt have a thing or two to teach you about presence in the simplest of moments. Let's leave it at that. And other family members and friends who love and cherish you. Spend time with them. Let them hold you up. Let them bring you back to yourself when the weight of ministry feels heavy. They are a part of your cup, of filling your cup too. And perhaps most importantly, carve time out just for you. To wander in the woods. I know how much you love the woods. To sit in silence, to rest deeply, to seek out laughter and delight, to indulge yourself in the ways that make your soul sing. For this ministry, you will need holy, radiant, and replenished for the long journey ahead. Go with love. And I want to share just this last blessing. I want to bestow this blessing upon you. May your words continue to rise from the depth of your soul, woven with love, honesty, and beauty, and may they find their way into the open heart like seeds carried on the wind. May your presence remain steady and brave, a refuge for those in sorrow, a balm for the weary. And may you never forget that the holy ground you hold for others must also be held for you. May the ones who know you best, Dave, Amelia, Carly, Cooper, your mom, your sister, me, be your anchors, your soft landing, your joyful companions, reminding you always of who you are beyond your role. And may the woods, welcome you back when you need to remember your place in this great, wild story, and may silence fix his wisdom when words feel like they've run out. May you be so blessed, beloved.
Jennifer, if you'll hold the picture. So we have Barzillai Frost, and we have Ralph Waldo Emerson. And the year is 1838. And in a previous manifestation of the sanctuary, the Emerson sat right up there. And they looked down on the preacher, Barzillai Frost. And they looked outside, and it was snowing. And darn that Ralph Waldo Emerson, he wrote an essay. And he said, the man can't preach. Not collegial. Very stinky. And then you, as you know, you read the history of this place, and you read about Barzillai Frost, and he was beloved. He knew everyone's name. He took care of people. He was great. You hold Barzillai Frost now. That is a gift of the Women's Parish Association in his memory, and it's to be passed from one minister to another. So I pass it to you, and I hope you keep it close and look at it and remind yourself what your strengths are. That will get you through. Best wishes.
Gary. What an honor it is to be here. What a privilege it is to be in this room today, in this sanctuary, in this community. 35 years ago, on a different May day, I stood here and accepted your call as the associate minister with Gary Smith as my senior colleague. I loved my years here as your minister, and not just because Bill and I met and married during those years. So that was a nice benefit. I love my years here as your minister because of who you are as a congregation. And though I later moved on to other positions and other places, you, this congregation, has lived inside me for 3.5 decades. So it's my honor to offer the first part of this charge to you, the congregation. But it's good to be back home. Now that you've officially installed Jennifer as your new lead minister, you have sealed the deal on the act that you as a congregation, as we heard, performed here last year when you called her here in the first place. And Jennifer's name will be added to that list of names back on the wall, and I check it out. The clergy people back there on the wall who have served this church. You have done this many times. We know that for over 300 years, 389 years. All the names of the senior, the lead minister, the associate ministers who have served you are on that wall, and they all testify to your authority as a collective group of people that you are. For it is you, this congregation, we know, who has the power to say, we want to move into the future with this minister. It's been like that for 389 years. And each time you have called a new religious leader here, you have avowed 3 basic truths. Each time you have said, please join us right now, today. Please respect the lives we have lived and where we have been. Please help us shape tomorrow together. So the thing of it is, said Lucille, a longtime senior person when I was here, an elder of the congregation who always caught me short when she said, the thing of it is, those words always followed something about from her that got quite right to the heart of the matter, that cut through the chatter, the noise of whatever was going on. got to the meat of the matter. So, channeling Lucille right now, the thing of it is, two things are true at the same time. This is a both and moment, and it's both and world. You certainly draw from the rich lifeblood of what and who you have been, and you are casting your vision towards who and what you want to be. You are moving on from past strength and hope to future strength and hope. You have called a vibrant, thoughtful, energetic minister to be your new partner going forward. And while the authority rests in the power you had to call her here in the first place, your obligation rests in uniting with her to enliven our religious values here in this beloved home and out there in the world beyond these walls. So I charge you with honoring the dynamism, the energy, the both-and-ness of this unique and precious relationship. Thank you.
Do you know what the most radical act in any worship service is? You've participated in it today. The most radical act. The most radical act of any worship service is the offering. The offering is a radical act because it signals that unlike many religious institutions around the world, this church is self-supporting and independent of the state. No governmental body has financial leverage over this church. No ruler can tell its ministers what to preach or its members what to believe. At a time when law firms, universities, media outlets, research labs, and many others are being coerced by the federal government into compliance with its political predilections, the church stands free of such intimidation. Every democracy has a coterie of institutions that offer countervailing power to the state. The church is one of the most important. Its moral voice cannot be silenced without the acquiescence of its people. Conversely, to the extent the minister embodies that moral voice, it will not be full-throated without the support and encouragement of the congregation. As former House Speaker John Boehner put it, a leader without followers is just a guy taking a walk. So I charge you today to nourish Jennifer's full-throatedness. I happen to know that hers is a compelling voice. I know that because she was a student in my preaching class at seminary. And so, as I often say, if you like her preaching, you know who to thank. And if you don't, well, some students just never learn. But Jennifer did learn. And I charge you to nourish her full-throatedness, even when you don't like her sermons, even if you disagree with her, even when you can't understand a word she said. The Reverend James Brown volunteered to be a chaplain in the Civil War, but in the midst of battle, his jaw was blown off. This made it hard for him to speak. But when the war was over, he returned to the congregation he had served before the conflict and took up preaching once again, despite the fact that his congregation could make out only about every third word he said. But the congregation kept attending every Sunday because they knew what his presence represented, because they had so much respect for what he embodied. Now, I've known a few ministers in my day about whom I can say that we would all have been better off had we not understood a single word that they said. But at times as dire as today, when so many people would poison the well of the human spirit, you need Jennifer. And she needs you united in purpose, forgiving of trespasses, wed to action, and ready to show and to say to every overweening principality and power, we are a free people. We pay our own way. You will not frighten us. You will not divide us. You will not control us. You will not silence us. You will not be rid of us. For we will remain here, confident, strong, and faithful, always faithful, ever faithful, forever faithful, until the coming of the next great day.
Having received this charge, it is now time to bless the hands of our community.
All right. You all heard me, right? Okay, well, now you really can. Today, when each of you cross the threshold to enter into this space, each of us received a gift, a tangible gift. Who can pick up that gift and tell me what they have? Call it out. Courage. Courage. That's right. I want to hear you all say it one more time. Courage. Nice and loud. Courage. Softer. Softer. Say it just to yourself. Courage. We all receive courage. Take a moment and maybe rest that stone in the palm of your hand. Notice how it feels to have something to hold on to. Maybe think about the times you've needed courage to make a phone call, name a boundary, use your one voice to ask for what you need. And maybe think about the times that we've been brave together, showing up to address the suffering and hold on to what is good, all the while taking such good care of ourselves and each other. The courage in this room is shared by many, many hands, and it is also the foundation of Reverend Jennifer's ministry.
The tradition of the laying on of hands is one that is enacted in most ordinations in our tradition. And it is an embodiment of the deep, deep connections of the ordinand with their family, their community, with their friends, with their colleagues, with their ancestors. It is a ritual that was not available to ministers who were ordained in 2020, as Jennifer was. And so today we're going to adapt that ritual to invoke the deep connections of this community with Jennifer, with her family, with our ancestors, and with the wider community. In a little while, I'm going to be asking all of you to gather in the aisles and create a circle and a chain around the sanctuary. And for folks who don't feel that they want to stand, those of you in the chain will make sure that the chain goes out to those underneath the balcony and in the middle. And those of you in the balcony, I encourage you to form chains. And those of you on Zoom, I encourage you to adapt the gestures that we will be using. And so first, I'd like to call up Jennifer and her family to the front. Bring your stones. Be sure you have your stones. And if you can stand in the middle, Jennifer, and Carly and Amelia on one side, Louise and Kate and Dave maybe on the other, however you want to do that. And then I'll invite Jennifer's colleagues to come up and join this chain. And then as they're doing that, I invite the congregation and the choir to come out. We're going to be squishy. Come out into the aisles and get ready to form a chain. And remember to reach out to those in the center who are staying. Those of you on Zoom, you may want to be ready to hold up a hand, and even in the balcony this would work, to be connected with this space. We can fit, we can do this. And I'd like you, while you're doing this, to take that stone that says courage or community and put it in your right hand. And take a moment to imagine the courage within you being imbued into that stone in your right hand, the courage you have to give. And then I'd like you to reach to the person on your right and hold that stone out. And then with your left hand, cover the hand of the person on your left, grasping both the hand and the stone, not too tight, just so we feel connected. Jennifer, look around. Take a picture in your mind. Here is that network, that group of connections that will give you the courage to lead. Kindred in faith, look around. Look at the faces in this room. Remember that this is our network, our community, our connection that will give us the courage for these times. And feel the connection. Feel the courage that flows through this room. Elizabeth, would you bless us?
May the ground beneath us radiate with courage for the work ahead, embracing the challenges and joys of companionship. Let us sense that brave and bright energy flowing up from the earth today and every time we need to. Allow it to fill our bodies, shining out through our most loving words and bravest actions. May the wisdom that inspires all meaning seekers guide us forward with courage, because we know that community is worth it. Blessed be this day, this celebration, and this community. Amen.
Let us seal this ritual by singing the last verse of Ruth Moody's One Voice along with the choir. This is the sound of one voice, one people, one voice, a song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. Amen. Let us return to our seats and prepare to sing our final hymn, which is hymn number 108, My Life Flows On in Endless Song.
Please be seated. My beloved friends, beloved congregants, colleagues, mentors, teachers, daughters, husband, mother, sister, all of us partners in this ministry. Is that not an anthem for our age? Is it not? Let's make tyrants tremble. A year ago, just over a year ago, you called me, and I could feel that tempest hovering, circling. It's here. The tempest is here. And we are singing. We are singing a song of courage and a song of love. And it is more beautiful than any song I have ever heard in my life. Thank you for your voice. Thank you for your courage. Courage that looks strong. Courage that's loud. Courage that's tender. Courage that's beautiful and sweet and, yes, scared sometimes, but courageous nonetheless. Thank you, all who have shared your gifts of word and song and story and filled my cup today. I need multiple saucers to collect all the overflow. I want to return to words I shared on that day that you called me. You've heard me share them again. They're from the poet Robert Walsh. When the great plates slip and the earth shivers and the flaw is seen to lie in what you trusted most, look not to more solidity, to weighty slabs of concrete poured or strength of cantilevered beam to save the fractured order. Trust more the tensile strands of love that bend and stretch to hold you, to hold us in this web of life that's often torn, but always, always healing. When we go from here, and when we return, and in all our comings and goings, may we weave the tensile strands of love. They emanate from our hearts. They extend from our hands. May we weave them into an ever stronger web, repairing the torn places, bending and stretching to reach our human kin, undefiled by shame. Stranger and friend, struggling to hang on at the frayed edges, reaching out to take hold when we are the ones struggling, because there is always a line there for you to hold on to. Just cast your vision and know always that you are held, that we are held, and that we are holding one another. May this be the guiding promise and practice of our long, beautiful, enduring shared ministry, to weave the tensile strands of love into the great tapestry of human belonging that we call the beloved community. May we make it so. Amen.